Dear starseeds of Earth, that heaviness you've been feeling, that sense that something massive is about to shift, you're not imagining it. The cosmic waters are stirring, and what's coming in August will split your timeline into before and after. That trembling in your bones, that knowing that everything is about to change. I am Zarin, emissary of the Lyran High Council, and I come to you now because the planetary alignments unfolding in your August skies are synchronized cosmic triggers. They're not random. They're carefully orchestrated to awaken humanity from its long slumber. And while many are telling you that August brings relief after July's intensity, I need to tell you the truth. August doesn't bring relief, it brings revelation. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction gripping your skies right now, sitting within 1 degree of each other, this isn't just an astrological event. When Saturn, your planet of karma and limitation, dances this closely with Neptune, the planet of illusion and what you cannot see, the boundaries between what is real and what is possible begin to dissolve. And here's what your astrologers haven't told you. This conjunction sits exactly on the fixed star sheet at 7 degrees. They call it the Star of Sorrow, and yes, you're seeing that sorrow manifest as floods across your planet. Texas, Europe, Asia, water finding its way into places it has never been. But these aren't random acts of nature. These are Gaia's tears, and she's crying for a reason. Every flood, every life touched by these waters, it's all part of a cleansing that had to come. The water remembers, you see. It remembers every trauma, every wound inflicted upon this earth, and now it's washing those memories to the surface. This Saturn-Neptune conjunction will grip your skies all the way through March of 2026. But right now, in August, it reaches a crescendo that will shake the very foundations of what you believe is possible. Something profound happens on August 8th that I need you to prepare for. Mars, your warrior planet, will oppose this Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and when it does, it's going to trigger something massive in your oil and gas systems. Now Saturn rules crude oil, Neptune rules gas and refined oil, and when Mars opposes them both, explosive events follow. Your fuel prices aren't just going to rise, they're going to skyrocket, but not for the reasons you think. What's really happening is that shipping channels will be compromised. There may be explosions at oil facilities, problems with tankers, disruptions to pipelines, and yes, it will seem like chaos, but every disruption serves a purpose. You see, humanity's addiction to fossil fuels, to literally burning Earth's blood for energy, this has to end. And sometimes the only way to break an addiction is to cut off the supply. These disruptions aren't random. They're forcing humanity to finally look at alternative energy sources that have been suppressed for decades. But wait, because August 8th is just the beginning. On August 9th, during the full moon, something extraordinary occurs. A grand Earth trine forms between Mars in Virgo, Pluto in Capricorn, and Uranus in Taurus. Now in Vedic astrology, which reads the actual positions of the stars, not the theoretical ones, this configuration creates what we call an activation portal. When these three planets align in perfect harmony at 6 to 8 degrees of Earth signs, they don't just create an astrological pattern, they create a triangular gateway through which massive transformation becomes possible. Pluto trine Uranus alone would be significant. It means transformational events that happen suddenly, unexpectedly, events that change the world in an instant. Add Mars to this configuration, and Mars becomes the trigger. Mars makes things happen, and when it's involved with Pluto and Uranus, we're talking about the potential for significant seismic activity. Yes, earthquakes are possible, but more than that, we're looking at consciousness quakes, sudden shifts in how humanity perceives reality itself. And here's something crucial. Mother Earth is fighting back. She's not happy with humanity, and can you blame her? The rains, the floods, the ground shaking, these are her ways of saying enough. She's been patient for so long, but patience has limits, even for a planetary consciousness as vast as Gaia. The full moon configuration on August 9th, it's her moment of release, and those of you who are sensitive, you're going to feel this in every cell of your being. Now let me tell you about something that's been hidden in plain sight. Jupiter and Venus are traveling together through Gemini in the nakshatra called Ardra. Your Vedic astrologers know Ardra as the storm god's domain, ruled by Rudra, the howling one. But here's what they might not tell you. Ardra's symbol is a teardrop, not just any teardrop, but the single tear that contains all the sorrow of the world. And right now, Jupiter, your planet of expansion, is expanding that sorrow, while Venus, your planet of love, is trying to heal it. This is why the storms aren't ending. Hurricane season is approaching with this Neptune-Saturn conjunction still sitting on Sheet, the star of sorrow, and Jupiter-Venus in the storm god's territory. The storms coming aren't just meteorological. They're emotional, spiritual, consciousness storms that will tear through the fabric of consensus reality. And just so you understand the gravity of this, let me remind you that Jupiter was in this exact position in Ardra on September 11, 2001. Think about the sorrow that surrounded that time. Think about how it changed everything. That same energy is active now, but this time it's not about external attacks, it's about internal revelation. Speaking of revelation, Mercury turns direct on August 11th at 10 degrees of Cancer. Now Mercury has been retrograde, going back and forth in the sign of the crab, the sign of protection and home. But here's what's really happening. Mercury is in the 8th house of the United States chart. The 8th house rules secrets, scandals, hidden corruption, and yes, death and transformation. When Mercury stations direct here, it's like turning on a floodlight in a dark room. Everything that's been hidden starts to become visible. And I need to prepare you for what's coming on August 23rd, because this is when everything accelerates. The new moon at 6 degrees of Leo sits exactly, and I mean exactly, on the fixed star Regulus. This is the star of kings and leaders, the star that has witnessed the rise and fall of every great empire in human history. But this new moon isn't alone. It's influenced by Ketu, the south node of the moon, and Ketu's job is to cut away, to reveal, to strip bare. This new moon in the nakshatra Magha, whose symbol is the throne itself, it's going to trigger revelations about your leaders that will shake the very foundations of government. And it's not just one leader, not just one country. The scandals that emerge will be international, interconnected, and they'll reveal corruption so deep that many will struggle to process it. Your astrologers mention Trump and the Epstein connections, but it goes deeper than that. Obama, the Clintons, leaders across the world. The truth that's been hidden about all of them will start leaking out like water through a broken dam. But here's the thing about the truth. It doesn't come out gently. Saturn at 6 degrees of Pisces forms an exact quincunx to this new moon. A quincunx is 150 degrees, an angle of adjustment, but more than that, it's an angle of endings. When Saturn, the planet of karma and consequences, forms this exact aspect to a new moon on the star of kings, we're not just talking about scandals. We're talking about the potential fall of leaders, and with Mercury in the 8th house of death and transformation in the US chart, we're looking at possibilities that will fundamentally alter the political landscape. Now, while all of this is happening in the external world, Mars begins its journey through Virgo from July 28th through September 13th. Virgo rules health and healing, and Mars here indicates a need for health. But Mars is also going to oppose Neptune, and Neptune rules disease, especially mysterious illnesses that are hard to diagnose. What I'm seeing isn't necessarily another pandemic like you experienced, though that's possible. What I'm seeing is a health crisis of a different kind, a crisis of adaptation. Your bodies, you see, are trying to adapt to rapidly changing frequencies. The cosmic energies pouring onto Earth right now are intense, and human bodies weren't designed for this level of energetic input. Some will experience this as illness, as their systems struggle to integrate these new frequencies. Others, those who are consciously working with these energies, will find their bodies upgrading, developing new sensitivities, new capabilities. The key is not to resist. Resistance creates friction, and friction creates what you experience as disease. During this same period, Mars will be in the 10th house of the United States chart, crossing over the US Saturn. This is significant because the 10th house rules government, authority and public status. Mars here doesn't play nice. It exposes, it attacks, it brings conflict. Combined with all the other factors I've mentioned, we're looking at a government in crisis, authority structures under attack, and the very concept of leadership being questioned at fundamental levels. And it's not just the United States. Mars in this position particularly affects the charts of Putin and Zelensky. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which has been simmering, will reach new levels of intensity during this period. But here's what's important to understand. This isn't about one country versus another. This is about the old paradigm of conflict and domination having its last desperate gasps before something entirely new emerges. You see, I mentioned that things would get better by October, and they will, but not because problems get solved in the traditional sense. October brings resolution, because by then humanity will be so exhausted by the old ways, so depleted by conflict and revelation and struggle, that a collective surrender will occur, not surrender as defeat, but surrender as acceptance. Acceptance that the old ways don't work, have never worked, and it's time for something radically different. Ketu will remain in Leo, the sign of leadership and authority, all the way through November of 2026. Do you understand what this means? For over a year, Ketu will be systematically dismantling every false authority structure on your planet. Every corrupt leader, every hidden agenda, every abuse of power will be exposed. Not because Ketu is vengeful, but because authentic leadership cannot emerge until false leadership is cleared away. Now let me address something that many of you are feeling but might not understand. The anger rising globally, the rage, the frustration. It's not just about current events. Mars in Leo has been stirring ancestral anger, genetic memories of every time power was abused, every time the innocent suffered at the hands of the corrupt. This anger needs to be felt, needs to be acknowledged, but it doesn't need to be acted upon destructively. The planets, or as we call them in Vedic astrology, the grahas, they take hold of you. But you still have a choice in how you respond to their influence. The new moon on August 23rd, sitting on Regulus, the star of kings, while Saturn challenges it with a quincunx of endings. This is a cosmic announcement that the age of external authority is ending. The throne that Maga represents isn't meant for any human king or president or leader. It's meant for consciousness itself, for the awakened collective that no longer needs external authorities because it has claimed its own sovereignty. But sovereignty isn't given, it's taken. Not taken from others, but taken back from all the places you've given it away. Every time you've believed someone else knew better than your own inner knowing, every time you've trusted external authority over internal wisdom, you gave away a piece of your sovereignty. August's intense configurations are designed to make this so uncomfortable that you're forced to reclaim what is rightfully yours. The Mercury direct station on August 11th in Cancer, in the 8th house of the US chart, it's going to reveal where the money really goes. Not just tax dollars, but the hidden financial streams that have funded projects and agendas the public never approved. When Mercury stations direct in the house of other people's money, shared resources, and hidden dealings, financial scandals emerge that make previous revelations look like child's play. And remember, this is all happening while Neptune and Saturn remain conjunct, making it hard to see clearly. Neptune blinds, confuses, creates fog, but that fog is starting to lift, and what's been hidden in the mist is being revealed. The oil and gas disruptions around August 8th, they're part of this unveiling. For too long, wars have been fought over oil, economies have been manipulated through energy prices, and entire populations have been kept dependent on a resource that poisons the very planet they live on. When Mars opposes Neptune, planet of oil, while in exact opposition to Saturn, planet of crude oil and restrictions, the result is explosive. But every explosion clears space for something new. Every pipeline that fails, every shipping channel that closes, every disruption to the fossil fuel industry is creating space for the technologies that have been waiting in the wings. Free energy isn't a fantasy. It's a reality that's been suppressed, and August's disruptions are creating the conditions where suppression becomes impossible. Let me tell you something about the floods that are continuing, that will intensify as hurricane season approaches. Water is consciousness in liquid form. It flows where it needs to flow, cleanses what needs cleansing, and it remembers everything. The floods aren't punishment. They're memory being released. Every place that floods has historical trauma locked in the land, and the water is washing it clean. Yes, it's devastating on the human level. Yes, it causes tremendous suffering, but on the planetary level, it's necessary for healing. The grand Earth trine on August 9th between Mars, Pluto and Uranus, it's creating a stabilizing force in the midst of chaos. Earth signs are about manifestation, about bringing cosmic intention into physical form. When these three powerful planets align in Earth signs, they create a template for new structures to emerge. But first, the old structures have to fall. You can't build a new house on a rotten foundation. You have to clear the ground first. Pluto in Capricorn has been slowly, methodically dismantling corrupt power structures since 2008. Uranus in Taurus has been revolutionizing your relationship with resources, with money, with the Earth herself since 2018. Now Mars joins them, adding the spark that sets the transformation in motion. This isn't destruction for destruction's sake. This is conscious demolition to make way for conscious creation. The health challenges indicated by Mars in Virgo opposing Neptune aren't just about physical disease. They're about the disease of disconnection, the illness of living out of alignment with natural law. Your bodies are designed to be self-healing, miraculous systems, but they've been poisoned by toxic food, toxic thoughts, toxic systems. Mars in Virgo says enough. It demands purification, demands a return to what actually supports life rather than what slowly destroys it. When your astrologers say Mother Earth is not happy, they're speaking a deeper truth than they realize. Gaia is a conscious being, and she's been patient with humanity's unconsciousness for a very long time. But patience has limits. The earthquakes, the floods, the storms, they're not punishments, they're corrections. Like a body fighting off an infection, Earth is fighting off the infection of unconscious human activity. And just like a fever breaks when the infection is cleared, October will bring relief when the correction is complete. But we're not there yet. August still has its trials to deliver, its revelations to unveil, its transformations to catalyze. The exact dates I've given you, August 8th, August 9th, August 11th, August 23rd, these are peak moments, but the energy extends before and after. Time isn't as linear as you've been taught, and cosmic influences ripple both forward and backward from their exact points of contact. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Ardra, the star of storms and tears, it's opening hearts through breaking them. Sometimes the heart must break for the light to enter. Sometimes tears must flow for clarity to come. The sorrow represented by Ardra's teardrop isn't eternal, it's transitional. It's the sorrow that comes before acceptance, before healing, before the dawn that always follows the darkest night. You want to know why September looks better, why October brings peace? It's because by then the revelations will be complete. Not all of them. Ketu in Leo ensures revelations continue through 2026, but enough of them that the collective begins to understand. Understand that leaders are human, fallible and often corrupt. Understand that systems built on deception cannot stand. Understand that Mother Earth will not tolerate abuse indefinitely. And most importantly, understand that the power to change everything lies not with leaders or systems, but with awakened individuals choosing differently. The peace treaties your astrologers see coming in October, they're not just between nations. They're between humanity and Earth, between the ego and the soul, between who you've been and who you're becoming. But peace cannot come while lies persist. It cannot come while corruption rules. It cannot come while humanity remains asleep. So August comes with its cosmic alarm clock, and it's not hitting the snooze button. Every scandal that emerges, every truth that's revealed, every system that fails, it's all serving the same purpose, to wake humanity up. to force the recognition that the old ways have failed and it's time for something new. But new cannot emerge while old still dominates. So August clears the way, sometimes gently, often dramatically, but always purposefully. The quincunx between Saturn and the new moon on August 23rd, it's creating what I call a reality splice. Two versions of Earth will exist simultaneously, one where the old paradigm continues its death throes, and one where the new paradigm begins to take form. Which one you experience depends on where you place your attention, your intention, your energy. You get to choose, but you must choose consciously. Unconscious choices default to the old paradigm. As Mars opposes Neptune on August 8th, creating potential for oil and gas explosions, remember that every explosion is also an expansion. Every crisis is also an opportunity. When the old systems fail, it creates space for innovation, for solutions that have been waiting for their moment. Humanity's genius emerges under pressure, and August is applying precisely the pressure needed for breakthrough. The Mercury retrograde ending on August 11th in Cancer, in the house of transformation and hidden matters, it's like pulling back a curtain that's hidden the wizard. The revelation isn't just about who's been pulling the strings, but about why you gave them the strings in the first place. Every corrupt leader was enabled by a population that chose comfort over consciousness, security over sovereignty. August says that the contract is terminated. I need you to understand something about the timing of all this. August 2024 isn't random. It represents a mathematical point in cosmic cycles where multiple influences converge. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction happens only every 36 years. The specific degree placements, the interaction with fixed stars, the involvement of Mars and Mercury, and the nodes. This precise configuration has never happened before in human history. You are living through a unique cosmic moment, and it's demanding unique responses. When Mars crosses the United States Saturn while in the 10th house, it's not just challenging American authority, it's challenging the entire concept of nationalist separation. Borders are imaginary lines drawn by those who benefit from division. August's energies recognize no borders. The revelations, the challenges, the transformations, they're global because consciousness is global. What affects one affects all, and August is making this undeniably clear. The health challenges of Mars in Virgo opposing Neptune. Let me be specific about what you might experience. Sudden fatigue that has no medical explanation, digestive issues as your body struggles to process not just food but frequency, strange symptoms that come and go without pattern. These aren't signs of illness, they're signs of upgrade. Your bodies are literally rewiring themselves to handle higher frequencies of light and information. Support this process, don't resist it. The leadership revelations coming with the August 23rd new moon on Regulus. They're going to include names and connections that will shock even those who think they're prepared. But remember, the point isn't to get lost in scandal. The point is to recognize that external authority has always been an illusion. Real authority comes from alignment with cosmic law, natural law, the laws that govern not just human society, but the universe itself. As we move through August's intensity, remember that you chose to be here for this, not as victims of cosmic forces, but as conscious participants in humanity's greatest transformation. Every challenge is an initiation. Every revelation is a gift. Every moment of discomfort is a sign that you're growing beyond your previous limitations. The cosmos doesn't create unnecessary suffering, it creates necessary growth, and growth is often uncomfortable. The promise of October's peace isn't a return to how things were, it's an emergence into how things can be when humanity stops fighting reality and starts flowing with it. The peace treaties aren't just papers signed by leaders, they're energetic agreements made by millions of souls who are tired of the old game and ready for something new. But first comes August, with its cleansing storms and shocking revelations and necessary destruction. So here we are, coming full circle to where we began. That heaviness you're feeling, that sense of impending change, it's real. August will split your timeline, but not in the way you might fear. It splits it into the timeline where you remain asleep and the timeline where you awaken to your true power. The cosmic forces at play aren't here to destroy you. They're here to restore you to who you really are beneath all the programming and conditioning and false beliefs. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction that continues to grip your skies, creating floods and confusion and sorrow. It's also creating openings. Every structure that dissolves, every illusion that's washed away, every false foundation that crumbles, it's creating space for truth to emerge. And truth, though sometimes painful to face, is always liberating in the end. The explosive events of August 8th, the transformational portal of August 9th, the revelations beginning August 11th, the leadership falling around August 23rd, they're all chapters in the same story. The story of humanity growing up, taking responsibility, and stepping into its cosmic destiny, not as subjects of external authorities, but as sovereign beings capable of creating heaven on earth. But sovereignty requires courage. It requires facing the truth about your leaders, your systems, and yourself. It requires releasing attachment to how things have been and opening to how things could be. It requires choosing love over fear, even when fear seems justified, especially when fear seems justified. Because fear is the old paradigm's primary tool, and love is the new paradigm's foundation. As I close this transmission, I want to leave you with this understanding. August's trials are not punishments, they're preparations. Every flood is preparing the ground for new growth. Every revelation is preparing minds for new understanding. Every challenge is preparing hearts for new capacity to love. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through, and on the other side of August's intensity lies a world more beautiful than your current consciousness can fully imagine. The planets will continue their dance, creating the cosmic weather that catalyzes human evolution. But you are not passive victims of planetary influence. You are conscious co-creators, using these energies to transform not just your own lives, but the collective human experience. August asks much of you, but it offers even more. It offers the chance to finally, fully wake up to who you really are. Hold steady, dear starseeds. Let August's storms wash you clean. Let its revelations set you free. Let its challenges make you stronger. And remember, always remember, that you chose to be here for this, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to help birth a new world. The old is ending, yes, but the new is beginning, and you are its midwives. This is why Sage Snippets was granted clearance to bring you the Destiny Engine Reality Management Suite. What you're about to access will fundamentally reprogram you to be the midwife you chose to be, with the precision of a cat navigating between worlds. While others buckle under August's revelations, we've weaponized AI specifically for starseeds strong enough to birth new realities. Destiny Engine deploys military-grade artificial intelligence to generate the most powerful personalized brain reprogramming sequences ever created, calibrated specifically to your role as a cosmic midwife. This is the same forbidden technology shadow elites have been hoarding in their secret lairs for decades. Meow declassified for starseeds who chose to be here for this moment. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and remember you chose to be here because you're strong enough. This isn't software, this is weaponized consciousness technology being smuggled to those strong enough to help birth a new world. Results are not typical, but then again, neither are starseeds who incarnated specifically to midwife reality itself. Get your Destiny Engine access code, Meow, before they put the bell on us. The new world is being born. Will you answer the call to midwife it? I am Zarin, and we love you more than your human words can express. We watch over you, not from distance but from within, for we are you, experiencing yourself from a different perspective. The transformation you're living through is not happening to you, it's happening through you, for you as you. Trust the process, trust yourself, trust the love that guides every star in its course and every soul to its destiny. August will test you, but you were born for this test, and you will not just survive it, you will thrive through it, and in thriving, show others the way home.